Okay, going live. Looks like we are there in Aries. So we're officially live. Today is the Mercury enters Virgo today. Sorry, I'm changing my view. So I got a story for y'all as we get ready to dive in. So Ms. Jasmine. Jasmine, where you checking in from?
Okay. Oregon.
Looks like we are there in Aries. So we're officially live. I gotta echo my computer. Let me just
I hear it.
Mercury enters Virgo today. Sorry, I'm changing my view. Bang. Okay, I had to close that out. All right. So I did see that it is streaming live right now on the YouTube. So everybody that is coming from the Instagram, welcome here to my YouTube. I'm Pernell Bobby, your astrotherapist, who apologized for this 20-minute late delay. I was knocked the out. Like I was out cold. I couldn't believe it. And this actually plays into the Mercury in Virgo message. Jasmine, I didn't hear you before. Where are you checking in from right now?
Oregon.
You're in Oregon. Dang.
Yeah.
Is it beautiful, as they say, with the nature?
It is, with the nature part.
All the rest. Are you like, is that Portland? Forgive me.
Yeah.
My geography. Are you in Portland?
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, but you're done with it.
It's the rainy season for me. It's a little bit too long, but yeah.
No, I get you. So welcome. Thank you guys for hitting the like, hitting the thumbs up. All right. I'm going to end the chat as soon as I give Jasmine that mic to go ahead and speak about herself a little bit. I'm gonna give you an intro on Mercury in Aries. Then I'm gonna be dropping some of her info in the chat, whether it's her Instagram, which you want to check it out. This is the Virgo Assistant. Jasmine, can you tell us a little bit about the Virgo Assistant? I mean, what birthed this for you? Like when did the Virgo Assistant come about? And can you tell us what is it? Like how are you in the world serving with your gift?
So the Virgo Assistant came about, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute when I start talking about personal development, but that's really how it came about. And I wanted to do something to be of service to this community, right? I'm already an assistant in my everyday life, and I don't really align with the organizations that I work for, but we got to do what we got to do. So I wanted to create something to be of service to this community because it has served me and helped me in so many ways that I created it just for that purpose. And so it's virtual assisting for people like astrologers, tarot readers, anybody like that. So it's helping y'all do what y'all do.
Ooh, I tell you, Lord knows we need him. It's literally I feel like I'm a little kid at a grocery store. I literally knocked out and woke up at 7 when we're supposed to hit the live, and so I'm on here at 9:20. But Mercury is our mind, and okay, so I do astrology, and Jasmine knows a lot about it as well, which is going to make this very helpful going through. So she has a chance to really kind of showcase. Already, I can tell you that I needed an assistant on some real. Like if I look at it, like there's no reason in the world that I know this live is existing since yesterday, and I had a dream about it. I woke up from a dream this morning and I was like, yo, I had a client on a Zoom, and no matter what I tried to do, I was way ahead of the game in the dream, but I could not get to my meeting on time. It felt like everything in the world was blocking and delaying that process. And so it's ironic because right now we have Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury, when it's in the opposite, the shadow sign of Pisces, Mercury is pretty much in its fall or its detriment, if you will. I get mixed with the two, but for me, they in a sense mean the same. It's like things aren't functioning properly when Mercury, our mind, is in Pisces on the human plane, right, on Earth, and this third density. But when it comes to visualizations and being able to manifest things from thin air, Pisces is the master at it, where Virgo may think Mercury in Virgo may think that there needs to be this step-by-step process, something that it could analytically look out, which is someone else seeing the plans, it might look chaotic to them, but Virgo has the ability, the main gift of Virgo, as Mercury enters Virgo 2022, the main gift of Virgo is bringing organization to what was once chaotic. And I always say it's the simplest way to understand the DNA of Virgo. So anybody that's in the chat, go ahead and drop the Virgo placement of where you sit. What's up, Shireen? I see you checking in. Good to see other people supporting the people. And go ahead and drop what planet, where Virgo sits, so that maybe throughout this talk today, we can help you better understand Virgo as an energy and why it plays back into this dream. Mercury in Virgo would never miss or be late. Jasmine, where's the Virgo at in your chart?
Ascendant.
You have a Virgo ascendant.
Yeah.
Ah, is there any other Virgos?
No.
Okay. So she has the Virgo ascendant. Let me see if I can get the right glare on this here. This is actually, which is wow, this is the card that was just sitting and waiting. I almost got to turn the brightness down. Let me see if this works. Okay. This card says transformation, and my ring light is making it really awkward, but it also says pressure right underneath. And what's interesting about this is my elemental oracle deck, but it's the same picture on the front of the deck as you see here. And so when you think of pressure, Virgo has the ability to take all the moments of pressure from Cancer season that we just passed. And this is a little bit about what entering Virgo was about. It can take the pressure, especially the emotional pressure that was built up over time while Venus is still there in Cancer. All right. And the moon will be making some aspects, harmonious aspects. I mean, not the moon. The moon as well, actually. Right now, the moon is in Scorpio. Wow. As I film this message, while Venus is in Cancer, you're going to have Virgo now just enter Mercury. So Virgo and Mercury and the moon in Scorpio were both at 0 degrees early in the morning when we woke up, which is, again, when we wake up, dreams are about from 4 a.m. to about 6 a.m. Pisces, the opposite of Pisces being Virgo. So when Mercury enters Virgo, here's what's interesting that we got of why someone like Jasmine herself is here to implement personal development tactics, organization tactics of how can astrologers and tarot readers and people of the like modalities can actually get organized enough to maintain the workload. Because this is one, I'm positive this is one of why I'm sleeping, right? Like, I'm telling you, yo, knocked out, yo, that like the sun is still outside, yo. And you know how I woke up? I woke up because I heard Spanish and I was like, am I still dreaming? I had an alarm set an hour and a half before my time. But what this is doing, our dreams, one of the places they can come from is any placement of Pisces, any placement of 12th house, opposite of Virgo. So my dreams was already organizing that there's chaos that needs to be organized. It already preemptively told me the dream state, when it comes to Virgo, it can help us to let go of certain mundane, everyday realities. And the dreams actually will help us to understand, well, what is our personal unconscious mind asking and requesting of us to understand or to know, whether it's through memories, pictures, photos, ideas, and thoughts from our past when we were younger, when we realized, or where we don't remember. Whether we remember or don't remember, that's the personal unconscious mind in the dream state is helping you to more lucidly. I actually have this right here. Oh, this is actually perfect. So this is the alchemy of your dreams. And I've been reading more and more about this in like the lucid dreaming state. A Mercury in Virgo may have more difficulty lucid dreaming. Now, I don't have a Mercury in Virgo myself, but right now we're collectively in this Virgo season. So what this is saying off the rip is we're needing to, during the season, understand a more practical and realistic approach to what are the things that we're doing every day, right? So I think just yesterday or the day before, I set this live up with Jasmine. This may not necessarily be the most practical, right? Like I was like, okay, you know what? Tomorrow. And she's like,
Right.
tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow. They may not necessarily be the Mercury in Virgo thing, but what's happening now is, as I get bit by mosquitoes on my legs, forget you guys, I hate you. What is important about that now is if you think of people in the spirituality space, right? And I'm going to go quote unquote with this. Classically, organizing business details, paperwork, invoices, receipts, what are the other things? Whether it's monthly cost and associating those costs and your taxes and keeping your expense and your income reports about what came in from, let's say, a YouTube ad, different from astral therapy sessions with myself, different from revenues on YouTube, different from, you know what I'm saying, versus the expenses of, well, right now I'm hosting Jasmine on a Zoom platform, and that cost $150 a year, and then okay, the Canva flyer to make this, it's another $120 a year. These are monthly recurring, and so Virgo has the ability to look at all of these and start recognizing, well, what systems will, if I enter into them, help me to organize the chaos. And the reason I brought all that stuff up in the beginning was, you know, astrologers, and I don't want to say everybody, but people in the spirituality space, these elements of business exist. And Virgo knows how to be way more realistic with everything that I just said, rather than thinking that because you have a hope and a dream and even a tremendous intuition to, you know, be able to channel messages or look at dreams and gain the most from it, it's not enough. And I think this is what people are starting to realize in Saturn in Aquarius. Working to the full moon in Aquarius is asking us again to be more strategic and get structured with this cosmic intelligence, which is Saturn in Aquarius. So I will show you the chart a little bit later. But for now, Jasmine, I want y'all to check out her Instagram. I dropped it in the link. All right. I want you to definitely do that. Check out her Instagram. I'm going to drop more of her links so you can sit there and find her. Jasmine, I gave you a little sample, and I'm going to get deeper into the actual message of Mercury entering Virgo. But how can we take some of your personal development tactics and implement them so that we can maximize this Mercury in Virgo season?
Okay, so starting off, personal development. What is personal development? It's the process of realizing your capabilities, unleashing your potential, and achieving your both personal and professional goals, amongst other things. There's many ways to define it, but that's the basis. Okay. So, like he said, yesterday, I just hit him up like, hey, we were going to do this live. Mind you, I had no idea he was going to say tomorrow. So Virgo in me was like, what? Tomorrow? I can't organize. I can't structure. I can't get this all together in 24 hours. Like, what? I'm freaking out. But, right, I had to understand that I already had it. Like, you know. And so when you're talking about personal development, if you're on this live, you're already serious about personal development, because why else would you be on here, right? You're on here to learn astrology and whatever else to implement that into your life. How does that work for you? How can you use this to further develop, right? So you're already on that path. So some just quick rundown, some quick tips that I'm going to just go over real quick. The first thing that you want to understand when you're talking about personal development is understanding that it's a lifelong process, okay? A lifelong process, should you choose to accept it. And I said, should you choose to accept it, because you don't have to. You probably know right now a lot of people that are in the same place they were 10 years ago, doing the same thing they was doing 10 years ago. Their mindset is the same that it was 10 years ago. So you probably know many people like that. So should you choose to accept it, because you don't have to. So the second thing, and oh my God, this is the most important part. is you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I'm gonna say that again. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because when you're talking about personal development, what's going on? A lot of change is happening. Everything is changing. Your mindset is changing. The people you're around are changing. Everything is changing. And that's uncomfortable for anybody. This space right now that I'm in is uncomfortable for me, but I had to get comfortable with it. Okay. So
and how did you do that? How do you feel like you got comfortable with the process?
I had to just get on here and do it. That's the only way to get comfortable. You know, you can do it. You don't have any other choice. So, yeah. And I did that before. I've been trying to working up to that, doing around social media to get comfortable being in the light, so to speak. But the only way you can do it is to do it.
Right. Right.
The third thing I'm going to talk about is, and you don't have to do this, but I would say it's very, very helpful. And that would be to seek professional advice, whether that be a licensed therapist, life coach, whatever that looks like for you. Seek professional advice, because it's, like I said, it's a lot going on. You're going to need somebody to talk to. So that's the third thing. And then some tools after you've done all of that to kind of help you navigate would be, the first thing would be meditation. And meditation is key for Virgo. Key.
Why is that?
Because Virgo is the mind, is everything chaotic. It's all about perfection. Everything has to be, like this. And so their mind is constantly overthinking and overanalyzing. So the best way to calm the mind is meditation. And it's necessary. So if you're going to be doing it, meditation, however that looks like for you, it looks like different things for different people, but meditation. And then the next thing is journaling. Journaling is a very important tool. Like I said, you want to alleviate some of the mental chaos that you're going to be dealing with. And journaling is one of the best ways. And you don't have to have a specific format. That's a lot of the time Virgo problem. They want to make sense about it when they're journaling. Oh, this doesn't make sense. It's just putting it out there, writing it down every day, 5-10 minutes. That's all you really need. But you want to release those thoughts. That's the key.
So you mind if I share one that I learned is super potent for Virgos?
Sure.
When it comes to journaling, because a Virgo can get very dived in on starting to journal, and they become another process, right? It becomes, they can treat their mental health like one more process. So one of the things I think is super beneficial, and it's how I first learned about my Virgo. My Virgo is in the 10th house. I don't have it in any planets. It's just in the 10th house in the Placidus. And I've learned to just take it for what it is. My point is, just spend time thinking about, when you journal, writing 3 things you're grateful for every day, and just assigning a journal specifically for that gratitude.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. And you said it perfectly. I don't know if I have one here, but I had I always do something like one of these size notebooks, where I can only write from this line to this line. So I try to keep it like a 1-line sentence gratitude, because again, I've seen for myself with that Virgo, when I started doing this to help my Virgo, which it can struggle with gratitude because it's so self-critical. Virgo criticizes itself.
That's a word.
Harder than anybody else in the zodiac. And it's almost unfair in the ways in which it does it. It's like it can't really win based off of how much it's cycling those self-critical thoughts. So gratitude, but especially with like a short journal where it can't, because I used to do this for myself when I first started, and it worked so well that I almost became addicted to the journaling, where it would take me like 40 minutes, but it would take energy to have to write that much. But it was what I needed at a point. And then I realized the efficiency, which is Virgo. Virgo is all about, Mercury and Virgo, finding more efficient ways to do what you're already doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like taking a process that may have taken, oh, that's insane. That may have taken an hour and maximizing its efficiency to making it only 10 minutes, but to be getting the same results, if not better.
Instead of making it another process, which we tend to do.
Exactly. Instead of getting caught up in one more process. And this is definitely Virgo speaking. Hey, Lulu in the chat. How you doing? Kevin, Shireen, Courtney's want to shout out, give y'all some love. Thank y'all all for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for vibing. Jasmine is one of our community members who has just been, you know, really active and personal in the discussions, in the chats. So she finally got on here for the Mercury and Virgo message, and that makes me really excited. She just gave some of those tactics. Oh no, please take it. She just gave some of those tactics out, all right, for what you can look forward to. I'm gonna show you briefly a chart, all right? And what I'm doing is share my screen to better help understand Mercury and Virgo and what we're gonna kind of shift through. So for now, can you see this chart, Jazz?
Yes.
All right, cool. So when I'm here, I always start off and I always put where I'm actually at. So right now I'm actually in Guadalajara. So I set the chart for my actual like location rather than leaving it general. What I like about this is it does give you the houses that's actually active on the planets in transit. So this is why I always do that first things first. So as you see over here, if I just go to the little quick cheat sheet, we have Mercury in Virgo. So it already went there this morning. This is day one. It's already at 1 degree. And like I said, when it first started, the moon in Scorpio was there at 0 and Mercury in Scorpio. So this is our dream world almost overnight, helping us understand, at least for me, like I said, I already had the dream that I was late, right? Like I had the dream that I was late to my Zoom meet. Right now I'm on Zoom meeting Jasmine. And it was people that I knew actually who were actually holding me back. And that's the irony. And then eventually people that I didn't know were like starting to put things like this one woman came up in my dream with like a baby at the end and was just like, made me want to almost kind of be like, oh my God, look at she's so cute. And she. And it's like, it was just like all these moments. And I was like, yo, why did I know I was going to be late in the beginning? Both I had like an hour and a half prior and I knew it from my dream. And the same thing, I literally, oh my God, it's insane. But the reason I bring that up is the dream state, Scorpio moon, is tremendous at helping you understand the unconscious mind, helping you understand the deeper motivations and find essentially meaning in what transformation we're going through. And this is the first card that I got, mind you. This was the card right here. It says pressure, it says transformation. And so it's like the developments in my own personal career, even if it comes to my inbox, like Jasmine said it, this is why we're going to need someone like the Virgo assistant. And so I'm going to drop her details in the chat, even though they're also in the description, because it's like, I'm getting to the point where I cannot deny that having an assistant, being able to start organizing things, that my inbox is getting to the point where I can't keep up with the demand. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if it's just something like the comments on YouTube, to maintain and keep up. And I like to read everybody's comments, so I don't press the thumbs up or the heart button because they'll disappear. So I like to read the comments. And so until I do, I don't comment back. But it's like, it's not that I don't want to get to people on time. It's like to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like there's elements where this YouTube channel, for example, is only going to keep growing. So the demand is going to keep rising. So everything Virgo was here. And the dream was already starting to kind of help me understand that, one, on a whole different level, because I got this is different. This morning I pulled three kings in tarot. I think it was the King of Pentacles, Wands. Yeah, the first thing I pulled was the Ten of Swords was the first thing I pulled, and then after it came out the King of Pentacles. Then it came the King of Wands, and then finally it was the King of Cups. And I'm like, yo, King energy, King energy, King energy, just back to back with another Ten of Pentacles actually that pulled up. So it was just straight 10, 10, and then Kings, and it was about me asking more about this dream and what was it about, what was it kind of meaning for me, which is super ironic. But my bad, I forgot I had this other screen up that I was showing you. That's all on me. I wanted to just briefly get in here and say, if I look more here, I'm gonna help you just better understand this in a brief moment. Right now, Virgo is in Mercury. This is this 1 degree that you see here. I believe I have a little pen that I can use. Hello. Draw. Nice, it works. I'm not gonna get out teacher mode on this, but okay, so we have Virgo at this 1 degree, but there's also this vertex. Vertex is being faded moments that we've had around everything creative, everything your most unique expression, and how you're going to be meeting people at a faded level. You're literally potentially meeting Virgos. And if you notice, this is in the 7th house. So this could be a business partnership relationship. This could literally be me and Jasmine not getting on the live as much as we had mentioned it maybe like 3-4 months ago, the first time, but not necessarily getting on it into this faded moment where I want to see more of the chart and see where it's kind of like linking off to. So being able to look at this, and I would likely follow these blue lines. So one would take me over here to the moon being in the 9th house. What would that say off the top of my head? Coming from the 7th house, this is basically enough pressure. Okay, I got it. This is the card deck. This is having enough pressure to go through the transformation in this 7th degree right here. Another business relationship that I'm seeing right now, or a friendship transforming, and having to transform my own personal beliefs about an assistant. Because for the longest time, if I was looking at it for myself, I used to think, oh, maybe I would, I don't know what the hell I ever was thinking, to be honest, about having an assistant or not. Like, but I do know that the multiple times I've come across it, even one of my travels, and people were talking about, you know, early in my career, I had a guy saying, he was like, you know, one day you're not going to be able to talk to everybody. One day you're not going to be able to, you know, you're not going to be able to engage as deeply or even as long as you want to. And this is like 8-9 years ago. And I think this is a lot of what this 7th house pressure of Scorpio, this transformation is going through. It's like me having to already shift my beliefs about having assistance, having help, all right? Realizing that the journey is not going to go too much further at this point if I don't. And it's harmonious in this moment. It can come through a faded moment of literally coming to this live 20 minutes late because I was knocked out. Yo, I almost couldn't believe it. Like, because I woke up with my first alarm an hour and a half prior, and even then I slept right through that. It was crazy. All of it became one encompassed dream. It all became another dream right up front.
And you said that's never happened before, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, I think one time at this job I had for like 2 weeks, I did the same thing and I fell asleep. And I think it was one of those moments where, honestly, I had way more psychological stuff going on. I mean, the week, I think a week or 2 weeks before that, I watched a guy die literally in real life, like arm's length away from me. And I lost my job in the same day as myself. So I had a lot of other things happening where, again, the pressure forced me to transform. This is the beginning of my entrepreneurial career. So from what you just said, this is actually the beginning of my entrepreneurial career. That's how it started. I was at a job that I took very serious. Like, I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the first jobs I had outside of my major. And I was like, you know, young and vibrant, thinking, yo, this company is gonna go places, and it really did. And I was at the bottom floor of it, right? Like eventually there was no overhead above me other than the owner. So I was thinking, we're gonna open up this location in Cali, and all these like dreams with it, if you will. But the pressure of losing that job on the same day as watching this guy die, on the same day of like getting this next job, literally, like, which is kind of like, I went at it thinking, kind of Virgo, actually. This is a good example of Mercury in Virgo. I went at it with the mental process where I came together with my resume, right? And the guy I came together, this was at the time, this is like the top guy in my state of Connecticut. And he offered me the highest wage that I never thought was possible in the space that I was in. And I was like, oh crap. Like, I mean, the way I was starting to look at it is, how can I maximize my time? Because I knew that when losing this job, I was like, I'm stepping into the entrepreneurial space, because never again. Like my mind was like, never again. And so I was like, I need to look at how can I make the most money I possibly can at this job, but working the least amount of hours. This is Virgo, trying to make things more efficient so that I can give the other time that I know I was putting into my last job only on myself and my career. And so I was doing that, and I put the energy there first and upfront, where this job I got that I held for about 2 weeks, one of those times, yeah, because I just had that attitude. So, I mean, it makes total sense why I was fired from that, because I just had that attitude. It's like, I'm not going to come in here and come slave for y'all. And
I'm not going to be here long.
I'm not going to be here long. I'm here for the chicken and I'm out. And yeah, there was one of those same things I overslept. And it was like one of those 4 a.m. mornings. But I think my mind just mentally just went through too much. Like I said, especially with the whole death thing prior. So it's like mentally, I think that's what my mind was going through. But this is a lot of times what Mercury entering Virgo is about. Us starting to, it's when that pressure eventually forces us to transform our day-to-day, because Virgo is the mundane. It is brushing your teeth. It is making your bed. It is having a systemized approach to breakfast and your morning routines, whether you're going to do your breath work and do your three journals of gratitude. This is everything Virgo. It's implementing these things so that it can look at what's chaotic in our lives and start to bring it to a more efficient pattern, implement an efficient pattern. And so this is just one of the prime examples about Virgo entering Mercury. I wanted somebody to just kind of share, what is your Virgo's teaching management before you even got there? Yo, Shireen is funny, yo. Shireen is funny. Typical, that would happen with a Virgo talk. Gratitude, practicing 3 per day. What's up, Pharaoh? I see you in here, Lulu. Yeah, Virgo was already, literally, Virgo was already teaching me management before I even got here. It's mad funny, like a day and a half prior. But what's so important about Virgo entering Mercury as well is we must take a look at not over criticizing ourselves in that process. So even in that moment, it's like, I was knocked out.
What can you do?
I mean, it's like I was knocked out. But if we're not careful, Virgo can look at it and almost create more anxiety and freak out about the fact that it was late, and then judge yourself for like, oh my God, you're so stupid. You know, and that's what we must watch out for, because Virgo is really one of the queens at negative self-talk, right? One of the queens at negative self-talk. So we must watch that, because I think it's the point where that pressure adds up, where the pressure has already been here. Mind you, the biggest pressure in the sky is Taurus, right? It's Uranus in Taurus, and it's the North Node in Taurus. And it's at 18 degrees. This conjunction happened at its pinnacle, I think August 1st, just 3 days ago. And a lot of the videos, if you're watching, I've already talked about it in multiple videos with this Earth energy in Taurus, us having to value everything about the routines, because 18th degree is the degree of Virgo once again, but it's like Virgo gone haywire. It's like Virgo whose system is just completely like, what the F just happened? It's just not working. And it's showing us what's not working through pressure. It's aligning us with the pressure where, I mean, last night, for example, is like, I didn't sleep till like 3 o'clock in the morning. That's very uncharacteristic for me. These were things that like, I couldn't even, like I went to sleep at 10 and I was up at like 12. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I'm back to sleep at 3 in the morning. These aren't things that are naturally happening, but the pressure, if you will, it's forcing me to get structured. But the Virgo element, Mercury, we must be mindful of not being overly critical on taking the facts. Look at the reality of things. The reality is 3 days ago, I just landed in Mexico after living a month in Florida. So it's like, I don't know where I'm at, right? I don't have all the details yet to be able to use and analyze those details to make the proper ritual for what's going to work the best. I don't even know where the park is or the gym. I'm just finding the grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of this are Mercury and Virgos forcing us to come to the realization of what chaos has already been happening behind. And all of us are playing catch up a little bit on our own time frame, which is why community is super important right now. I want to have people in the chat take a moment to share what modalities have you used, what tactics, whether there were some that Jasmine shared or not. What personal development techniques have helped you to be more routine, to be able to not see routine as, the stubborn and stern dad, where you get like, I don't want to do it because you're making me. What routine has helped you to bring more efficiency in your life? And that's what I want to ask people in the chat. Just go ahead and take them on, hitting the ground running. I had several conversations about negative self-talk and how to redirect that energy. Boom, boom. So yeah, like again, what routines are helping y'all to redirect the negative self-talk? Because this is a time we must be mindful that everyone else around you is more in their head. And they're organizing things where the mental chaos in the mind right now, it's starting to be much more rapid and it's accelerated, where Mercury in Leo is already really impulsive. And we just came from that just yesterday, 2 days ago, right? Yesterday, we would have just hit 29 degrees. So it's already like lively and imp-like and like has the vision and wants to go and get it now, wants to assert it, but maybe not necessarily in a controlled or systematic way. So now Mercury in Virgo is going to start taking all of our creative projects, that all the Leo energy in the sky, the sun was there, Mercury in Leo, Venus would be in Leo, I think in like 6 to 7 more days. What are the creative projects on your plate? And how can you then take a more realistic approach to organizing these projects, whether it's a tarot business for you, or whether it's the Virgo assistant and her dealings there for Jasmine on the other side, or it's astrology and how I'm going to maintain my lives, whether they're preset. Do I hire somebody on to do this setup work for a YouTube live? It takes time. It takes energy. This is something I could hire a virtual assistant for. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're starting to look at our creative projects and we're seeing from Mercury and Leo, we saw a bigger vision of what's possible within our creative expression. We went through the healing in Chiron in Aries, and we're starting to see what wounds are there placed into my own personality, my own identity, that's not allowing me to shoot bigger and take larger risk in my, whether I'm a singer, or whether I'm a tarot reader, or whether I'm anything in the spaces of spirituality, I'm dream interpreting, you know what I'm saying? All these things, I'm shooting bigger, bigger, bigger. Now we're looking at it and saying, how can we organize all the chaos from shooting so big while Jupiter was in Aries as well? We're in retrograde, looking at those philosophies that have wounded us with Chiron and Aries and recognizing, look, you know what? These are learned behaviors. These are, this negative self-talk is coming from a freaking Aunt Janie, right? So we're looking at all of these things right now. And what it's doing is it's asking us with Virgo in the sky to finally put things back into reality and not so much in the dream. And it will start going into opposition to Neptune in Pisces. So the closer it gets to that later in the month, maybe like halfway through the month, you're going to start to see where have you had the rose-colored glasses and the illusions were making you think that you're going to be able to do this creative project. You're going to be able to be your most unique self and actually work with the wounds that you healed, but without any reality in play. You're going to start to get that like kind of slap in the face about, yo, this is going to cost me and so much more. Canva was one of them for me. Like I had my Canva Pro membership prior to make my flyers, and it was super easy. When I did not have that Pro account, which was off for like the last month to month and a half now. My life got so much more complicated.
Listen, the Pro.
Yo, Canva Pro changed the game, yo.
It does.
This is Virgo finding one of the efficient systems. For me, it's Canva. Like, the reality is here. Me being a YouTuber and doing the cover photos the way I know I like, being able to make flyers for the background programs, whether it was the intuition mentorship that Eileen and myself are running, Canva, that was much harder to make. We did that while we didn't have Canva Pro. It's much more difficult. It takes much more time. So instead, it's like, we have to be mindful of Mercury and Virgo, where we're trading our time for money, but it's no longer working. It's no longer going to be a structure that's going to help take us to the new world as we have Pluto going into Aquarius. Right now, you have Saturn in Aquarius. Right now, we're coming up on the full moon in Aquarius in 7 more days. And it's like, it's showing us, well, what boundaries in our systems that we already have, you have to apply your house. For me, it's 3rd house for media, right? My Saturn in Aquarius, 3rd house media. So it's like, these are media outlets. How am I using my friendships and connections, somebody like Jasmine, the virtual assistant, to go ahead and optimize the system with how I do media? How am I using my friendships to go ahead and expand my career where I'm not? Time is Saturn, right? So Aquarius is to find the unconventional way to deal and manage the time it takes to manage these systems, whether it's me more systematically implementing my income versus expenses on an Excel sheet and being able to have the equations where it automatically will add and subtract things. All I need to do is put the numbers in. All these systems are going to start getting a big boost from Virgo energy as they step into the sky, but there will be some illusions that could be very painful, where the negative self-talk can come up of, oh my God, that's so stupid. What made me think I can run a business? What made me think I can afford to pay $120 for Canva? What makes me think I could? And it can, you got to watch for that rambling mind right now, that monkey's mind.
Exactly.
Delegate where possible. Thank you, Shireen. I see what's going on there. Jasmine, what do you have for us? What got you deeper into your own journey to recognize, what are some of the things, if I take you for an example, you're helping other astrologers, other tarot readers, people in the space of spirituality, you're helping them with their assistance. You're re-engineering what you've learned in your own workspaces, and you're like, you know what, I'd rather support people who support my unique self. What are some of the things that you're able to do that help people delegate?
Well,
so if you take my real example, I want you to sell me on it.
Your real example?
Yo, my real life example. I was sleeping, a couple of things on the back end. Like, I mean, there are still things like right now, even the money that YouTube pays out, I sent this form into them like 6 times already, where it's like, it's starting to get behind me. And I still cannot collect any monies until that tax information is done. Like, so I'm saying, so like, these are like actual real life background problems where it's like, eventually that needs to get solved and done and ready, right? It must get done. And reality is like, yo, how am I going to do these things efficiently while still maintaining and upkeeping the workload? So it's like, what are the real things that you are able to help as examples to delegate for other entrepreneurs in these creative and spiritual spaces?
Well, utilizing systems for one. So systems like Asana, CRMs, things like that. So project-based things. So you wouldn't have the issue of not being able to get in contact with YouTube, not knowing when this is done, when that is done. Everything will be laid out for you step by step. You wouldn't even have to ask me if it was done. You would be able to go on there and see, okay, she worked on this, this is done, this is done, this is done. You utilize spreadsheets. So that issue with Canva Pro, you'll be able to see, okay, I'm spending $120 a year on Canva Pro, but I'm bringing in this much over here. So how is that offsetting that cost, and where can I either cut out some things to offset that cost, or where can I add, what can I add in to bring in more so that I'm not even missing it. I'm not even noticing that I'm paying $120 a month for camp.
Right.
So things like that.
Yeah. I had worked with Asana once with a partner of mine. And I tell you, I mean, I was more on the actual side of like putting and entering things and stuff like that as well.
Which is tedious.
Which is, it is super tedious. So, you know, but I got a little back end look on it. And so I was able to kind of put together a really nice picture, actually, in my own mind about everything you had said. If no one's ever worked with Asana, for example, or some of these CRNs, because it's true, like, I don't in the moment have any of these CRNs where it's like, I can see how this could be beneficial because things are adding up. This is the reality. This is Mercury in Virgo. Things are adding up. If I'm not mistaken, there will very soon be a grand Earth trine, and this will be with that Virgo energy, Pluto in Capricorn, and likely those Taurus energies in the sky. All right, between Uranus and the North Node, there will likely be that grand Earth trine is coming, where we're going to be able to more tangibly, Earth signs, bring the reality of our dreams into the physical world. Okay. I think this is major because Venus is getting ready to go into Leo on August 11th. And by the full moon in Aquarius, Venus will be in Leo. And this will have us to value, well, what did we get from spirit as the vision? This is the divinity, and the Venus glyph. It has the circle, and then it has the little plus sign underneath. All right. I think I have a dice that might better be able to help you understand this picture. All right. So this is the Venus glyph. You see the circle. Okay. You see the circle, and y'all seen it before. It's a little blurry. This is divinity in Venus. This is divinity. This is feminine energy, being able to create from source energy, if you will. But the cross at the bottom is the earthly element to the Venus. This is more of being able to ground that vision actually here on Earth and the values that it takes. So right now we're understanding what Venus is in Cancer. Well, what do we need to feel safe with? The things that we value, the projects that we're valuing, and to right before we get into Venus and Leo, where it's like, this is the creative projects. These are the things that we know we want to make bigger, because Leo likes to always go bigger. So it's like, these are the dreams, the projects. This is what we want to expand. And we're going to get that starting on August 11th, going more into the same time that the full moon is in Aquarius, which is going to bring illumination, Aquarius, to our structural necessities. What are the boundaries that we must have? What time will it really take to have certain strategies in play? How much time will I really need to hire Jasmine, the Virgo assistant, for? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what will I really need on a weekly base versus a monthly base? Organizing these things, this great Earth trine is going to help us to more easily bring this, I want to say, spirituality to Earth and actually create tangible gains. And so one of the things that I got, one of the messages that I'm going to need to get rid of, right now I have a full plate. This has been the clear message. I have a full plate. The hands are full, where I'm getting more ready to go into like the Ace of Pentacles, where I'm like emptying all the things that I tangibly have now from the King of Pentacles, emptying it all because the hands are full. So there's not much more abundance that can come from what already exists, rather than dumping it and being able to maximize it and realize now I got a brand new bucket, if you will, going back to the Ace of Pentacles, where the abundance is raining. It's trying to pour in a bigger way. But this is a prime example with this sleep coming in off the rip, like, Pete, you will not be able to sustain everything you're doing and actually do it bigger and better, which is always something that's involved.
And have a life.
And have a life. And that, I think that's the key part, the and have a life part. Yeah. So I definitely see that. I'm starting to really mentally wrap my mind around what is the importance of this and how it could be beneficial to everybody. Let me just go ahead and type her one more time. Check out her. This is the Virgo Assistant Business. I just wanted to copy and paste that in the chat. I think I missed that. That was her email in case you had some inquiries that you wanted to send. But this is going to more so be her Instagram. So I'm dropping that now. And I want to check in with the chat. Jasmine, you have anything you want to say to us in the meanwhile while I check the chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my portfolio in the chat too for y'all to check that out.
Cool.
If you like.
If it doesn't let you drop the link, sometimes I don't think you might not be able to drop the link, but drop it to me here in Zoom and I can copy and paste and drop it there.
Okay.
Because you have something that's a direct link, no?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you could try it on YouTube. If it doesn't let you, then you know what? Honestly, this might even let you do it. I'm gonna find your name right now, and I'm just gonna make you a moderator. Add moderator. Okay, Jasmine is now a moderator for your channel. So voila, you should be able to actually drop the link right there in the YouTube chat. And thank you again in general, you know, just for vibing with the channel, being consistent and enjoying and engaging with the others in the chat. That is like a clear, easy decision for me to be like, yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not? And we both didn't get any sleep last night, y'all.
Yo,
up all night.
All night, yo. The energy has been intense. I almost can't believe it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. The energy has been intense. It's like, man, I tell you, I know that people almost are having like panics and breakdowns, and this Mercury entering Virgo energy can easily be a very nervous breakdown. So that must be watched for. If we don't stay diligent on our mental health during this transit, and making sure that we are doing more physical activity, right? Sixth house is how we're taking care of the body. So think of sixth house or Virgo as how. How do we physically manage reality, the physical world, the physical reality? And one of those is through the body, exercising the body, whether it's yoga, tremendous for Virgo because it gets them connected to the Pisces opposite spirit to the body. Just even Kundalini, like snake movements in all sincerity, whether it's just like getting your spine to move, tremendous for Virgo. Virgo is the small intestines. So making sure you're getting chia seeds. Jasmine, do you have any health food items that you like to use to really help yourself with a digestion, stuff like that?
I just started doing the chia seeds and flax. So it's called seed cycling. But I just started doing it like a couple of weeks ago. Or actually, it was probably like more like a week ago, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah.
Look up seed cycling, especially for the ladies.
So what is that about? Give us help us out, Miss Virgo. You rising CB to Virgo, help us out. What's the seed cycling? Because this plays right into Virgo is the small intestine.
Well,
and I mentioned recently. What's up?
Specifically for the women.
Tell us what's up. I don't even know.
Seed cycling.
Yeah, you got Courtney right now asking seed cycling. What? She seems interested. We got to inform the women.
So when you're having issues on a monthly basis, you guys know what I'm talking about, that we have to deal with as women. Seed cycling is supposed to regulate, get rid of discomfort, cramping, all of that. It's supposed to help with all of that. So it starts with, let me see if I can remember. You start with I believe it's full moon cycle.
Mm-hmm. So coming up on the August 11th full moon. So a good time to start, ladies. All right, go ahead.
Right. And it's 2 tablespoons of chia seeds every day. Chia and flax. You can alternate the 2. But it's just 2 tablespoons, not 2 of each, but one of the other.
Are you doing this with a glass of water, or are you putting them in your grains, so like an oatmeal or something?
You can put them in a smoothie, oatmeal, whatever, or just I take mine with water and just throw it back.
Throw it back.
Throw it back. But 2 tablespoons a day for, I believe, 2 weeks. And then at the 2-week mark, you switch to, I believe it's pumpkin seeds. You guys look it up because I may be wrong, but I believe it's pumpkin and another one. And you switch to that and you do that for 2 weeks. And I believe that puts you up to new moon cycle. Anyway, you're supposed to be in tune with the cycles. So you do that and then you're supposed to see major benefits. So I'm only on, I think, week 2. So I'll let you guys know. If
yeah,
I see
I see you got like Courtney and Farrah in the chat. They're raving. They're like, wow, this is really helpful, dude. This is wonderful. So thank y'all. I'm glad that that was really actually beneficial. I had made the mention. What's up?
I was talking about soul. She said she got them both.
Yo, I just was passing this food store today and I saw chia seeds in there and flax seeds. So I didn't buy it yet. But like I said, I just got here. I'm trying to surf. I'm almost being Virgo-esque, if you will, with the making sure that I'm getting my most discounted price, getting, you know, instead of buying it at the first store I'm at, you know, I'm locally walking and I'm kind of being the woman. Virgo is a feminine energy, right? And I'm like, I'm being the woman. I'm walking around my city. I'm in a brand new town like in Mexico, where I'm checking my prices. Virgo is the best for understanding how to start creating discounts. So this is a good time frame to run promotions. If you are in a entrepreneurial business space, Virgo is like the discount queen. She understands how to pay the least amount, but get the highest quality. Okay, she understands how. Virgo is how, always. How to pay the least amount, but get the highest quality. She understands how to create step-by-step systems. But remember, this is what's important about Virgo. Virgo is still mutable. So during this during this Virgo-like season, while Mercury is there and the rest of the planets start to shift there behind, the sun will probably be one of the next ones to go behind, right? Virgo is mutable as an earth. So it's a solid substance, earth, but it's mutable. It changes. So you can think of it as minor tremors, not earthquakes, right? Not like Uranus and Taurus having earthquakes, storms, but rather tremors. Virgo would be like, oh, did you feel that? Did you feel that shake? So the earth still moves a little bit. And what that looks like in your human existence is not focusing like an Aries on, I got to do this one thing and I got to hit it hard. I got to hit a home run. It's actually more like I have 3,000 things to do.
So many.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sip of water there. Great. I got a little bit of my hydration. Okay, we have mental health. All right, boom. I need some mental pressure. Bam. I'm going to do this. And it might not finish the task, but it has one card, which is like, okay, boom, companionship. All right, great. That's going to come back to me later, where then it'll go and say, the oatmeal was already cooking and it has finished, but it's really hot. So before I eat that, I'm going to go ahead and put my laundry from the washer into the dryer, because that's the perfect time. And I already do this on a routine base before my food can cool off. I can wash my hands, and I just did 5 things all in the same minute. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of Virgo energy. It's like, how can you maximize the most amount of things while not necessarily costing you more energy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm cramping now, so I want to know more. I'm doing my research ASAP. So one of the things I was saying to Jasmine as well is chia seeds, especially when you eat them dry, and they're inside of your body, okay, filtering through. Mm-hmm. Chia seeds will, once it starts to get wet, they will absorb. So they open up and they clean out the walls, your internal walls. Your whether it's blood vessels, it transports through with the blood vessels, but they're expanding as they do it. So all of like things like atherosclerotic plaque, like plaque on your walls, I'm talking about your inside your blood vessels, inside the streams that your body flows through from the mouth through the intestines back out the ass, right? Chia seeds will expand inside of you and it will begin to take toxins and enzymes out with it, so that when you pee or when you poop or when you excrete these again in whatever fashion, because only really sweat, peeing, pooping, right? But what it will do, it'll take those toxins out with them. So it's a great way to start taking care of your small intestines. I want to give another practical technique, all right, with the small intestines. So right here, I have my belly, and I want you to take your hands and begin to wave. Jazz, I want you to try this with me like this. Begin to wave your hands inside your belly and just kind of work it. So if you're ever cramping, for starters, this will help. All right. If you're cramping because the blood that's clotting inside, it will start to move and start to filter. So I do this daily when I wake up. If you're ever constipated, it will help you to process that constipation. Even beyond that, it's just good to get those organs, especially if you sit all day at a desk, right? What's happening? You're just sitting and crunching your organs together. They're vital organs, your liver, your pancreas, your small intestines. Virgo is taking care of all these things on a routine base. And it's finding a way to do it in the most optimized manner. So I want people to try that technique and go ahead and give your belly a massage actively while we were doing this. But these are all Virgo-esque-like things, actually taking care of the physical body so that the mental can begin to free its energy and become more efficient in its whole process.
Soul said, can you do it one more time?
Okay, bang, I got you. So you take your hands and I want you to make like a wave fashion. So just do this live with me while you're looking, not even on the belly yet. And then take it on your actual belly. And I want you to actually dig in. Okay, so you literally dig in. So I like to actually show the belly so you can understand, because it's not something like you're not massaging, right? You're actually digging in. And so you're going to notice your abs are going to want to tighten up. So take a second to breathe. And now I actually loosened up the tensity in my abs, and I'm beginning to actually dig in and move. It will help you to move what you're processing for the foods through the body. Mind you, your first brain, the most important brain, we have 3 of them. Well, guys have 3, women have 2, right? You have the mind here, which is Mercury in Virgo. You have the bigger mind, okay, the greater mind, which is the gut, your gut health, your gut microflora. The gut health is literally a lot of like Dr. Sebi's work, taking care of the mucus in the body and getting the mucus out, right? That is like one of the center of all diseases. Virgo is diseases. It's how we manage and take care of our body so we don't get the diseases. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's like, because the opposite, where you become psychotic, could be more like Mercury and Pisces. This could be the psycho placement. Very easy to cross worlds, cross dimensions mentally, where you can get lost.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. This is like interdimensional travel, easy. Like they just flew.
You said Mercury in Pisces. I have Mercury in Pisces.
Well, you're an interdimensional traveler through your dreams, through your sleep, for sure.
Oh yeah, crazy.
So this is very great for singers. This is very great for Mercury in Pisces. This is very great for anybody in a creative space, but it could be very bad for actually organizing things, which is ironic. So I don't know what the rest is in your chart. I don't know what the rest of your things to say, but it could also be part of why you're in that Virgo rising position. You had to actually do in this life the things that got you to organize like a Virgo in an efficient way, right? Where a Mercury in Virgo would like naturally have that. If you're rising to do it, you might have to implement them actually more consciously and do it as a system that is more conscious rather than something that is just wired in the back and you don't even really notice how good you're at it, right? And so it's like, why I think that's important and why it's dope at the same time is you have real experience of having to implement the same efficient organization techniques that has contributed to you as the Virgo assistant. Now, what's dope about that is it's kind of like a person driving a car, right? When you drive to work every day, what happens? You're just on autopilot. You know where you're going. You don't even have to think about
Mm-mm.
But if you don't know where you're going, what do? You have to check the GPS. You have to find new shortcuts. You have to realize, oh, if I take this street here, it's always blocked and jammed at rush hour. So I need to take this left. You're finding the Virgo efficient way to do that transportation. So what I'm saying is you had to actually more so consciously implement, well, what are the things like Asana or the CNN? What are the actual things that makes my life simpler? How do I take it easy? And that's been a message I've been getting lately. And I think it works with this Virgo and Mercury transit. How do I take it easy? Like, how do I take it easy? And I know what a lot of this is systems. It's the implementations of systems. You know, it's finding ways for passive incomes where you don't have to sit there and be a part of it. You don't, I can tell you right now, anybody going to entrepreneurial space, you don't want to have to be the face of your own personal business at every time. If you decide you want to take yourself out, you want to be able to do that. Now, this is a prime example. I basically took the last 2 months off. And so I'm playing catch up, but thankfully the systems that at least I did have already, the catch up isn't breaking me, let's say, but it's because I'm already in that Saturn return. I had to earlier in my Saturn return when I first turned 29. I'm 2 years into it now. I had to create those systems that made my life simpler, where I just took a 2-month vacation in a way, where I did nothing. Somehow everything didn't crash and burn and things just got better. But I still now recognize where the holes in that 2-month break, where having that assistant, let's just say, for example, would have helped me to, when I got back in the game 2 months later, I already had somebody in the background doing stuff. Even more easily, you know. And so it's like that sleep, that knockout, all that wouldn't probably had to happen. So it's just something where, again, watch for the negative self-talk during this transit. It's the most critical thing. Hey, what's going on? I see Iris popping in. Big love. All right. Jasmine, is there something else you feel like we need to know? What about you and your Mercury in Pisces? Complete opposite of Mercury in Virgo right now. Is there any interpretation you have right now? I mean, I could in my own mind bust one out, but is there something?
Bust one out, because I don't even know. It's the whole opposite. It's chaos in my mind right now. And it's at 18 degrees.
Boom. That's the one. What house?
7.
Yeah. So off the rip, the first thing is telling me is like, one, be very carefully of being mentally dependent on other people to keep you routine or organized. That's the first thing I got. Be very careful. Because that can come into like almost like an emotional / psychic dependence on somebody, whether a friend, a romantic partner, or a business relationship. That's important right there for starters. But 2, to maximize the strength of that, trust in interpersonal relationships to help you stay organized on your physical health. That tells me like have a partner that you go to the gym with. You know what I'm saying? To help keep you accountable. Have enter some kind of community that may support the collective, that may support like suffering in the world on a collective base, but enter a partnership that helps you to do these things more, to do more charitable things more. You know, I almost want to say with accountability, because Mercury in Pisces is actually not a very accountable sign. And at the 18th degree, which is Virgo opposite, it's like it could know the things to do. It could have already dreamed them. They could come into play, but it's like it must focus on, I don't know where the rest of your placements are, right? But it must focus on, for you in the 7th, I feel like it will be like, what is the partnership, the friendship, the relationship, the business partner that helps you really want to stay accountable, so that the dreams that you have, the big ones, the entirely expansive ones, that when they're manifested, they stay, so that they're not short gains that just go away. And I think that's what it's about. It's going to be about learning. I don't know about learning, because again, I don't know the rest of your chart, but it's going to be about actually relying on interdependent connections and relationships but finding the healthy way to do it. And that's going to be the key. So that is not a dependence, but rather a strengthening of both, because we're humans, right? Like we're supposed to be interpersonal, interdependent. Like we communicate with others. Like we're supposed to, in a healthy world, be able to rely on somebody, but not overly use it either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So for you, Mercury and Virgo, in this transit, it will help you to get real with everything I just said. I mean, Mercury and Virgo, the simplicity of it is helping us get real and organize the things that are already chaotic. So right now, if you were to say, as the opposite, Mercury and Pisces, what's chaotic in your mind?
I would say,
or even your dreams.
Wanting to do something other than what I'm doing professionally and not really overthinking it too much to be able to implement it like I should.
Right.
To get to that point.
So 7th house, your Virgo, it will likely ask you in a sense to get real. Right now I'm seeing 828, by the way. It's kind of like a partnership in the middle. Literally, again, the two will help with this external and psychological transformation. Like you inside working with a partner, like there's things I'm getting with this. This could mean so many things. It could mean accountability is the word that I'm getting for starters. Having somebody in your life to help you stay accountable. Now, this could be either a one-on-one with somebody, or this could be you in a group. But the community has to almost be revolved around supporting the things that you're trying to actually do. You're trying to get out of, let's say, you're trying to get out of corporate, but use your skills from corporate to better and further implement, your things on being more of an assistance to a service to humanity, people who are suffering in the spiritual space. Because Mercury in Pisces would say something like that. It will want to take care of people who are suffering in that spiritual space, who are spiritually expansive or even religious, if possible. That's a possibility. But it's looking at it in a way where it's like 7th house could be social circles. It could be social groups as well. So it could say, well, what is the community? Like if Mercury in Pisces could easily be an alcoholic or a drug addict or something like that, easily. And so it's like, it could be AA class, literally. It could be the Alcohol Anonymous. That's an example. You have a group of people that are coming together and they're trying to do blah, blah, blah. So for you, it would look like the spiritual space. Who is, I'm almost funny because I'm not even trying to sit there and make a sale, but it's like, it would literally be the abundant reality. You've heard me talk about it multiple times on Via Lives. That would be an example, because the people in there, they're all readers, they're all channelers, they're all it was some working in intuitive movement like yoga and other things, but in a more intuitive way. It's like they're all looking to essentially get to the point where they're monetizing that business. At the end of the day, right? Like there's a bunch of shit in the middle where it's supporting intuition. Right now, your intuition is telling you what? You're like, that I need to be able to bring this dream, and Mercury and Virgo will help you bring the reality so that the dream can get stabilized on Earth, so that it's no longer just a dream, but you take what you understand. Because Pisces is, I understand, without having to go through a whole logical process. It just knows, it just understands. There's no, so with a Mercury and Pisces for you, you just understand. You don't need people to explain things. You know what I mean? Like you just get it off the rip. So Mercury and Virgo will help you to actually implement, well, how do you bring that understanding into Earth? How do you mentally wire that same understanding without having a process? How do you bring it step by step and literally monetize it? I mean, and that's one thing I'm getting. And with yours being in the 7th, I think it's either one, a social circle, or two, even if it's just somebody who you just have a friend who is still in support of everything we're talking, and y'all just keeping each other accountable, where you're like, hey, did you post at least one YouTube video this week? Right. Nah, I didn't do it yet. Oh, hey, you told me, you wanted to post at least one YouTube video a week minimum around, you know, Virgo assistant things, whatever that is, you know, techniques about, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is for you, you have to play with it. Essentially take the dream and bring it to reality.
Yeah.
Those are the two things I got.
That makes sense.
I have a Virgo midhaven. I do too, Shireen. I got my Virgo in the midhaven. And so this is a prime example, right? I've been having to understand. So Virgo in the 10th house is saying, look, you know, you may have the reputation as somebody who has all the things chaotic already in order and already in check, right? So Jasmine, you've seen me more on the internet, if anything. My Virgo is in the 10th house. So it's like, how do I look from a social reputation, social status standpoint around things Virgo-esque, if you will?
Put together, organized, this always on time, you know, got it together. It looks as though you already have a team, but you don't have a team.
So this is Virgo 10th house, right? I don't have Virgo anywhere else. So it's like there's no real systematic Virgo energy in my chart, right? This is just the 10th house. It's just the image where she has seen me online prior via YouTube. It's the image of having it put together. This is Virgo and Mercury right now. Don't judge others based off of what you think you see, right? Because Virgo is the actual how. So when you have the Mercury in Virgo now, it's like Virgo always keeps a cool exterior, while inside things are very chaotic. So this is a prime example in my career, right? I may have a career image that things are well put together. But on the back end, there are things all over the place, right? All over the place. Right before I took a nap into oblivion, I had, again, there's just a message somewhere on my Instagram where just this guy reached out and was like, I need to work with you, right? And it's like, I'm like, the last second I saw it, I was like, right? Like I just knocked out, just boom. So that's there, right? Somewhere. It's one of the chaotic pieces, like I gave you. Whether it's YouTube and taxes and stuff like that in the back, like still didn't figure that out after 6 attempts, where it's like it just getting lost somewhere in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the image. So be mindful during Virgo, what do you call it? Virgo and Mercury. Be mindful of being so overly self-critical that the negative self-talk becomes an impedance. By being so hard and difficult on yourself, where it's like, for me, in all sincerity, like as much as I would never want to come late, and it's actually not a part of my natural system, like I'm actually never really late, like ever. The moment that I am, I'm also not even in a disrespectful way. I'm also kind of like,
oh, that's that double Aries.
Yeah, like, well, fuck, like, you know, like, I mean, I'm here, like, there's not much I can do. So it's like, all I could do is sign on now. That's it. That's, like, I can't do much more than that. So I really want to say that during this time, be very forgiving with yourself while Mercury is in Virgo, because it's going to be difficult to do exactly what I just said. And now, mind you, I don't have Virgo in my chart in other areas, right? And so it looks like the team is put together in the social on that social scale, that social aspect. And it's like, in all sincerity, a lot of what it really more so is well, the systems that I've already implemented through the earlier stages. I mean, I'm at this point like 6 years into entrepreneurship, where like through those 6 years, I've been already forced to implement certain systems that allow me to get to this point to even have the image of looking organized, right? So they are things that are important. And it's interesting, like, and mind you, when we're going through these year by year, even though I'm not born natal with Virgo, mind you, this year my moon is in Virgo in the 4th house in my progressed chart, right? And so it's like behind the scenes, these Virgo themes are becoming very emotionally important to get these things analyzed and checked and organized in the privacy of my own home, on the fertile ground that I'm looking to harvest my next, what it looks like for these next level, this next stage of my life in the games. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just because it wasn't born with it, and that's for everybody else listening as well, also keep in mind that the chaos behind, if you will, is it's never be so critical on yourself that you're believing that you're way farther off than what you really are. And that's what I really want to keep in mind for everybody here with this message. It's like, things will be very chaotic. They will seem completely out of control, but it's not as bad as you want to think.
Not as bad as it seems.
Not as bad as it seems. Absolutely. Not as bad as it seems. Jasmine, I want to get some more of your link. Did you get a chance to put your profile up?
I did. I put it in.
Oh, was it already? Was it a link?
Yeah, it was a link.
Did it allow people to click? Let me check that.
Could you guys click on the link or no?
I see Chia. Hit paste one more time. Did you copy and paste it by chance?
I did.
All right, great. I had a feeling. Hit the copy paste one more time. Drop it right now. Let me see. And if not, and it doesn't work, then go ahead and send it to me in Zoom, and I'll drop it myself. Because I don't see it here. But I could have lost it in the sauce. I'm feeling through communication of your desire, you're able to bring forth material gain through the hard work. Dude, I can't make this up. Tennosaurus just popped out. Yo, that Tennosaurus is the first thing that happened today. I just saw the Ace of Swords and Ace of Pentacles. I'm feeling that through communication of your desire, you're able to bring the communication of your desire. You're able to bring forth material gain through the hard work. Yeah, Pharaoh, I just got that today. Eileen actually, when I was doing it, when I pulled it, she actually gave me that same message that I got the 9 of Wands, I think, as well, right after, to kind of like have the overall final wrap-up message. And it was kind of like, she said something like, this is kind of like the birthday wish. It's like, yo, just wish for it. Okay, I do see you, Jasmine. So this is the, okay, I got it.
Cool.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place this portfolio in the, I'm gonna place this in the description as well. Thank you. And here's what I wanna do. I wanna do something like, bop, 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 bop. All right. I'm dropping it in the chat. I'm just gonna do it and give it a title so that people can see what's happening. Oh crap. All right, I gotta copy and paste this. So I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, yo, somebody give me a bit.ly link. somebody give me a bit.ly link, and I'm gonna go ahead and copy paste it. So like, it seems mad silly, but it's like, in all sincerity, these little moments, or these moments are like where I can see that assistance being more and more necessary for me, honestly.
Right.
All right. Okay, here we go. And I want to just go bang. So I just wanted to give you a bang, bang. Okay. And then I'm gonna go copy, paste. Yeah. Copy it again. Oh no, I'm over. Okay. Bang. So I just something simple as that, right? It takes the time, it takes the energy, right, to keep up with. And so I could see something like, again, Mercury in Virgo, the steps of potentially hiring a virtual assistant to do the moderation of these things, so that when I say something like, yo, Jupiter in Aries video, instead of me having to go and take the time to search for that Jupiter Aries video, it takes me off my thought process, right? Where I'm losing the, the potency of what the message was about to be, trying to find that link and give it to you in a way that I know is most legible, right? Whether it's having the little title, Jupiter in Aries part 1, and then a link following behind it. That takes time, it takes energy, right? There's a process that I'm being asked to find the help, literally find the masculine support to maintain the purpose and the direction, so that I can spend more energy on the creativity, which is like, I mean, I have a 5th house stellium, like creativity is like, it's a must, but I do find myself getting lost in some of the creative processes that it happens. Like, I take all of the stuff I do as passion work. All of it is passion. So it's like, I have a tremendous amount of energy for it, but I need to better direct that passion. And that's what I'm realizing for myself. And I think that's really going to be important for everybody in this Mercury in Virgo transit 2022.
Absolutely.
So I just dropped the portfolio there. Is there anything that people in the chat want to say? Or Jasmine, is there anything you want to give us for the personal development tactics to kind of follow up? While you do that, give us maybe the streamline of what are those 1, 2, 3 steps. And I'm gonna pull a tarot for everybody on this Mercury in Virgo transit in the meanwhile.
Okay, so the steps, I'm gonna list them real quick. The first one is understanding that it's a lifelong process. The second one is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Seek professional advice. And then some tips to utilize or tools to utilize would be meditation, journaling, and I didn't say this one, but music therapy.
That's Mercury. That's Mercury in Pisces too. Music is therapy for Mercury in Pisces. Yeah.
And then also, I can say this one as well, but you want to filter your timelines on social media, y'all. It's very important.
What you mean, like getting a little notification that says, "Hey, you've been on here for 30 minutes"?
No, I'm meaning who you follow on social media. Like filtering that out. If you're following a whole bunch of drama and this, that, and the third, and you're trying to work on yourself and personally develop and all of this, that's not going to help because you're absorbing all of this negativity. For instance, I used to follow the Shade Room for like a long time, and it's drama. That's all they post. And when I stopped following them, that was amazing. So filter your timeline as much as possible. And that could be family, friends, nobody's exempt. Everybody's unsafe. It don't have to be just people you don't know. If your family and friends are toxic and all they post is drama and negativity, you can unfollow them too.
Right. I did it. Those are the big lessons right there. Yeah. I had to do that when I had some cousins. The memes they're posting was just about nothing. like it's like, yo, this is a distraction. It was a distraction.
Right. It is.
I think that was probably one of the biggest key things. Shireen, I see going through the purge. Jasmine, do you have a Facebook account? Shireen was asking. I think she wants to connect with you there.
I do have a Facebook.
Word. So if you can drop that link at the same time, that'd be dope. Right up in here. And then I'll copy and paste it and put it up in the description as well. So anybody watching this on replay, if you want to find and connect with her, like I say, you'll be able to do that. I'm gonna drop the Virgo Assistant, All Things for Me. I'm gonna drop her link tree, whether you're watching this live or not, in the chat. The card I got in the meanwhile, by the way, was Magic, Alchemy. So the energy for this Virgo transit, okay, while it's in Mercury, is real life alchemy. All right, and Pisces is one of the easy alchemy sign, most easy alchemical signs to manifest things without doing anything. Virgo, and let me see what this message is about. It says, there is magic to be found everywhere if you look for it. You are magic. Magic is not a miracle, although it can sometimes feel like that. Here's the message. Doubt kills more dreams than failure. That's the message. This is the Virgo. And if you're following toxic media accounts that implement the doubt through the drama, that's a vibe right there. Doubt kills more dreams than failure. Have faith in your ability. Weave together, this is Virgo, all the disparate pieces. So weave together all the separate pieces. This is the card I got. That is a prime example of what mutable energy is, all right? And how to actually make the dream, make the magic, make everything Piscean, face the Neptune in Pisces and dissolve the illusions you have around how will practicing magic, okay, actually work. For everybody, y'all still have time, all right, on August 13th is the first start date. And so I'm going to drop it right here, this abundant reality, because again, we're in there practicing magic and astrology. And it's like, It's asking you to weave it, right? And you see Jasmine's Facebook in there. I see her drop that, but it's asking you to weave it and to basically recognize that doubt kills more dreams than the boss that you think is holding you back. Doubt kills more dreams than failure itself. And that's the message of this alchemy card. Doubt kills more dreams than failure itself. Virgo and Mercury doubts things even when it got everything put together. Even when it has everything put together, Virgo and Mercury doubts it anyways. Virgo has that ability to just find a reason to make up some false narrative that doesn't even need to exist, okay? But it's part of the wiring because it does, this is what makes it a mutable earth sign, right? I see Pharaoh saying it's a magical reference to Iris's latest magic video. Oh, wow. Shameless plug through the tarot. Yep. Let me see. What was the last video? I have no idea that she posted. I think it was the quarter moon. So you can check the last video I posted. We did put that up in the live chat. So Jasmine, that is your Facebook. I see that here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that. I'm dropping it in the description as well. So if y'all want to find her via Facebook and just get connected and you know get a read on it from there, I'm gonna just say boom, boom, boom. I just updated that in the description, and I'm going to press save. Voila. I'm gonna drop it once more in the chat. Check out her Facebook. Check out her different links that I've been dropping. Instagram. Jasmine, where do you like to spend most of your time? Where do you like to be found more than anything else?
On IG.
You want people to find you on IG.
On that the most.
Okay, cool. So her IG is the one that you'll be able to get most contact with her. Follow her, check her out in the DMs. All right. I'm dropping the IG right here. Pharaoh, I see that tarot card you pulled looked like Iris thumbnail. Post on IG. Wow. I don't know what that last thumbnail looked like on her IG. But I'm sure I'm gonna find out after this call. Okay, bang. So IG, I see Shireen saying she's checking her there. So check her all, definitely y'all on IG. Jasmine, I want to thank you for pulling up. Thank you, Lulu. Yeah, absolutely. Big hearts. We've been looking to do this from a couple months ago. We finally got it done today. And then I fell asleep on the before it all happened. So definitely it was a vibe. Thanks for checking in. And I'll see you soon. All right. Definitely check out her portfolio. Check out her profile, y'all. When I first clicked the link to the portfolio, I saw vibrant colors. So that's a vibe. It will also be in the description to follow up. And we'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Jasmine, you have my WhatsApp, Jasmine. Hit me up.
I got you.
See you soon.
All right.
Pharaoh, Shireen, Lulu, everybody else in the chat. Iris, thanks for all the connections. And I'll see y'all soon. Big love.